A to Z Mysteries Mayflower Treasure Hunt Chapter 6. Nick landed on the straw mattresses and fell backward onto the wooden deck. He knew he was on the very bottom of the boat. The wood felt cold and slimy under his fingers. He tried not to think about what he was touching. He moved out of the way and looked up. "Come on, it's okay," he whispered. Ruth Rose jumped next, and Josh and Dinka helped steady her landing. "Come on, Josh," she said. Dinka could see Josh's silhouette against the moonlight behind him. Suddenly, his head vanished. Dinka first. Could the old woman have grabbed him? "Josh!" Dinka gasped. And then Josh was falling through the air. He landed with a whoomp on the top mattress. "I think she's on the boat," Josh whispered. "I heard footsteps." The kids grabbed a couple of mattresses and dragged them into a far corner. "She must be looking for us," Dinka said. "If she notices the open gate, she'll know we're down here," Roosevelt said. They sat and stared at the open space in the deck above them. Dink could barely breathe. "She must know what we found, and she wants it," he said, keeping his voice to a whisper. "How would she know?" Josh asked. "She might have seen us dig it up," Ruth said. Dink remembered his surprise at seeing the old woman on the bench while they'd been digging. Suddenly, Ruth gasped. She pointed at the rim of the opening over their heads. A dark shape was moving slowly around the edge. Dink thought it was the woman, but the shape looked too small to be her head. "It's a rat!" Josh choked out. "What does it want?" asked Ruth Rose, wriggling closer to the boys. Josh dug the M&M's bag out of his pocket. He stood up and walked beneath the opening. Using his best to peach, he threw the candy up and out of the hole. The rat disappeared. "Aren't you glad I didn't feed those to the seagulls?" Josh asked Ruth Rose. "You are my hero," she said. The kids sat huddled together. Dink was shivering. "Guys, how will we get out of here?" Ruth Rose asked into the darkness. "I don't see a ladder when we were here this morning." "I have no idea," Josh said. Dink thought he heard something. He strained his ears, keeping his eyes locked on the opening. They all heard the next sound, footsteps coming down the stairs from the top deck. A head and silhouette appeared over the edge. Dink shoved himself as close to the wall behind him as he could. "I know you're down out there," a hoarse voice said, floating into the hold. "And there is only one way out. I'm kneeling on the rope ladder." Dink didn't recognize the voice. "Do exactly as I say, and I'll drop the ladder for you," the voice went on. "I'm going to lower a basket. Put the jewels in it, and the next thing I send down will be the ladder." The voice paused. Dink could tell that Josh and Ruth Rose were trembling. If I don't get the jewels, you'll stay here all night, maybe longer." "You'll stay here all tonight, maybe longer," the voice said. "Pretty soon the rats will discover you, and—" "We'll do it!" Ruth Rose suddenly cried out. "I have the leather bag and the jewels. It's a necklace. You can have it. Just promise you'll let us out." Dink had never heard Ruth Rose sound so frightened. He could feel her pulling something from her sweatshirt pouch. She dropped it in the darkness and heard her fingers scrabbling to find it again. A basket appeared over their heads, tied to the end of the rope. It landed on the mattress pile. "Do it now," the voice said, "or you'll miss your Thanksgiving dinner." Ruth Rose crawled over to the basket. "Okay, the necklace is in the bag. Now you have to let us out," Ruth Rose yelled to the opening. The kids watched the basket rise and disappear. Ruth Rose came back and huddled on the mattress. Sorry, guys, she said. I have to give it to her, or we'll never get out of here. They heard laughter from above. A moment later, the rope ladder flew down. It smacked loudly on the mattress. Dink heard something else land. Whatever it was bounced from the mattress to the wood deck. Dink hoped it wasn't the rat, looking for more of Josh M.M.'s. The kids stared at the rope ladder. No one moved. Dink felt sick as the thought of the old woman was still up there, watching for them to climb out the hole. They waited in the dark. Should we go? Ruth asked. Yeah, I'm out of here, Josh said. She must have taken off by now. Dink held the bottom rung of the rope ladder as Josh and then Ruth climbed up. Dink went up last, and the ladder swinging as they climbed. They pulled the ladder up and piled it next to the opening. Then they tugged the grate back into place. It must be after 6 by now, Dink said as the kids scrambled up the Mayflower too. My mom is gonna freak. They climbed the fence and ran toward the hotel for the second time that night. Now that the snow had almost stopped, a bright moon shone from between the clouds. Dink would have enjoyed the scene if he hadn't been so scared. This time the woman was waiting inside the lobby with Dink's mother. She ran toward the kids as they burst into the lobby, out of breath and dirty from being in the hold. Donald David Duncan, where have you been? His mother asked. Her voice shook with worry. I've been looking all over town for you. Do you remember we agreed on 5 o'clock? She checked her watch. It's well after 6. Dink felt his face turn red. He didn't know where to start his story. I'm sorry, Mom, he finally said. Could we go upstairs? I'm really tired and hungry. We have to tell you. We have a lot to tell you. Dink's mother wrinkled her nose. Then she grinned. You three smell, she said. Hot shower first, then I'll call down for some food. And that is the end of chapter 6. Now, will Dink persuade her mother well so that her mother understands what Dink says and don't punish those three with Rose, Josh, and Dink? Look forward for chapter 7.